right, welcome back to the Cool Table. This is CJTM Met Radio in Toronto. We have an exciting show coming up, Honey Jam, the 30th anniversary. Okay, think about how many things don't last 30 years. Okay, this is a very, very big moment. $30, 30th anniversary, Canada's first and longest running female artist development program, and their first time at the legendary Massey Hall. We have one of the artists performing here with us. Welcome to the show, Cinzia.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Man, it is a pleasure to have you here. Once I knew that I was going to get to talk to some of the Honey Jam artists. I'm not going to lie, you were the first one on the list. Okay, you were the first one. I said,
Live.
on everything, on everything. I was like, listen, if I'm only talking to one, it's got to be her. So I'm happy we get to chat. Um,
Cool.
this, no, I'm serious. That was real. I want to go back in time. Okay, let's see if we can take it back to your Honey Jam origin story. How did you get
Mhm.
involved with them? What did you know about them? And just tell us that whole tale.
Oh my God, I knew nothing. In 2019 is when I first heard of Honey Jam, and I found out later, a few years later, that a friend who had done it in the past had recommended me. And I was like, I'm from Montreal, so we didn't have any knowledge about Honey Jam then. It was very much like an Ontario, Toronto thing. So when Ebony and the team reached out explaining what Honey Jam is, everything that they do for female artists, I was really intrigued. And I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of intimidated because I was like, I was doing music, but I wasn't doing it professionally yet or had any like real goals yet. I was really just recording music and putting it out for fun. So I definitely felt like imposter syndrome hit when they had reached out saying like, "Hey, you should audition and see if this is a program for you." But I did it because Ebony was really nice and it seemed like an amazing program. And I was like, well, I can't miss this opportunity. Like, I don't know when something like this is going to show up again. Um, I ended up coming to Toronto, playing the show, just me and my guitar, which was again so intimidating because the girls in my year were so incredibly talented and they had full bands and tracks and choreography going on. And here I am, just a little like folk rock kid getting into music with like a guitar. And I'm just like, hi to like this huge crowd. But I don't know. I guess I tapped into something with the crowd because people loved it. They were into it. I ended up winning the program to Canada's Music Incubator there. And to be honest, I say it all the time, but Honey Jam really jump started um, my seriousness towards music and like, okay, this is a real thing that I can actually do and commit to and have as a career because look at all the support that you can get from your community, which wasn't even my community yet. And it was, yeah, it just, I owe Honey Gem so much for like shifting my mentality towards music and what's possible.
I love that. And I love to hear you say that it jump-started your career because I've always thought about Honey Jam as this like big sisterhood, this big family, you
Mhm.
know? And it's like once you're a part of them, you're kind of always a part of them. It never like leaves you in a sense. And listen, I'm not a musician and I'm not a woman, but I feel left out, okay? It seems like y'all are a really good family. I do want to be a part of this. This is as close as I can get, okay? This is like I'm like the cousin or something of the Honey
Yeah,
Jam
fair. Yeah,
family. You talked about taking music seriously. I think that's like a big thing for a lot of artists when you're starting out, you're getting there, and you're like, okay, am I actually gonna do this, or is this gonna
hmm,
be like a hobby? And you talked in an
yeah.
interview about quitting your job, your full-time job, and then moving to Toronto. Talk about that because that is a crazy choice to make.
Yeah, that was wild. And I have to say, since then I moved back to Montreal. I'm such a Montreal girly through and through. Like my Toronto friends love me and hate me at the same time because I love Montreal. I'll never stop talking about Montreal. But I moved to Toronto for a couple of years because it just made sense at the time. There was a lot going on musically. Like I said, I had built a community from Honey Jam to CMI to all my friends who were building a career there. So it just made sense. My photographer is also based in Toronto, who's also like one of my best friends. Um, so I moved there, quit my job, and was like, all right, I'll figure it out when I get there because the city is expensive. And literally, I remember I quit my job because I was working in radio, and I've always been circling around music, but never took the artist side seriously. So I quit my radio job and was like, I don't know, I'll figure it out. I'll like walk dogs or something. And the week that I quit, 3 days after I quit the radio station in Montreal, there was a radio station in Toronto that I interviewed for, thought I wouldn't get the job because I was so like, hey, I'm moving for music, but also I work in radio. So I was like, this was the worst interview I've ever done. But they called me, gave me the job, and then I was working there for about like 6 months, and we both knew we're like, you're not here for this. And I'm like, I know. And we're like, yeah, let's just call it. Like, I think and my boss was he was so great. Then he was like, you're clearly here for music. And like, he's like, I want you to be here for music. So
Oh,
let's
I
cut.
love that. I love that.
Yeah, it was so rewarding to hear someone within the radio scene in Toronto be like, "No, you need to go pursue your music." Like
Hmm.
actually. So I did that and I lived there for like 2 years, met amazing people, and I think I really think of Toronto as a second home, and I love Toronto again because of the community and the business drive that the artist and music industry has there, but my creativity really lies in Montreal, and I depend on this
Mm.
city so much for inspiration. Um, I always say how like even just walking in Montreal, like there's some sort of creativity in the streets everywhere you go, and I need that. So I moved back, but I'm in Toronto like every second weekend.
Toronto
My
adjacent.
mileage is so bad.
Listen, I can't even be mad at that because I think if you had the choice, and a lot of people from Toronto have done the move to Montreal for music, so
True.
I
Yeah.
I can't be mad at that. And listen, I love Toronto, but I'm not gonna defend how expensive the city is. Okay,
So
you
expensive.
go outside and take a walk and it's $100. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm really lucky that I think I have the balance now because I moved back in October.
hmm
I'm lucky enough to have my own car so I can like make the
hmm
trips to Toronto whenever I like. Um, and yeah, I feel like I found the perfect balance of like staying grounded and creative in Montreal and working with my creative team here because my producer's here
hmm
and stuff. And then taking everything we create and bringing it to Toronto to essentially monetize, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
But
Make some money. That's the whole point of this.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Yeah, I think too, something I've always thought about is like, at least in Canada, the music industry is like pre-COVID and post-COVID,
Yeah.
and it's like a lot of artists who were doing stuff pre-COVID maybe took a step back, once COVID
Yeah.
happened, or a lot of artists who maybe were questioning it before COVID is where they kind of ramped up.
Mhm.
How would you talk about your career, pre-COVID and post-COVID? Because I feel like that was a
Gosh.
big switch for a lot of people.
Yeah. Honestly, a few months before COVID hit, so in like February, I was planning to move to Toronto. I got rid of my
Mhm.
apartment that I love. Oh my God, it was the best apartment in the world. We can talk about that later, but that was, oh, I still
Flashback.
yeah, it was so good. And like, side note, I have a friend who's staying in an apartment that's on the same street, like 3 doors down from that apartment.
Ooh,
And I'm like, I need to come visit. I need to come see what it looks like, if it's the same thing. And it is. It's the exact same and it's gorgeous. But that apartment was amazing. And I left that again, just like fully jumping in. I'm moving to Toronto. I don't know what's gonna happen, but whatever. And then COVID hit. So I didn't make the move because I'm like, well, this is crazy to move now when everything's locked down. So I stayed in Montreal, lived with my sister for a little bit because I was so up in the air. And I love playing live. Honestly, that's why I make music. Every time we're in the studio, I have like a festival mindset or a live show mindset of like, how is this going to look on stage? How are we going to perform it? So COVID hit me hard because there were no shows happening. You were doing these um, virtual shows, which were
oh
fun
my
because you
goodness, I
connect.
forgot about those.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They were the Instagram lives, and it was
Oh
it was
my.
fun, but yo, that connection is not the same,
Oh,
right? So I got so unmotivated, and I honestly thought, I'm like, well, maybe my career isn't as an artist. Maybe I'm a songwriter. And I ended up
Oh
getting
wow.
in yeah, we did more like songwriting sessions virtually, and by like the second year we started like doing more in-person stuff. But I was like, oh, I think my path is songwriter. And honestly, I was like pretty pleased with that. I'm like, this is awesome because you're getting that validation of people singing words that you wrote or wrote together
Mhm.
instantly, opposed to like writing in the studio and then playing it live and then having people sing it.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, this feels like a shortcut to the high that I love getting at live shows. And then, like, I kid you not, I think I played one show and I was like, nope, I need to be on stage.
You're
I
like,
was like,
no,
no, I love this.
give
I
me the
can't
crack.
not do it. Yeah. I was like, oh, I think I was just lying to myself.
No, 100. Those virtual shows were actually insane. And there was two things that I thought was so funny because they used to do some of them where it'd be at a location and all the artists would come to a location and then they would live stream
Yeah,
the show, that kind of thing, like almost like the live festival type of deal.
yeah.
And then there was like the home show because I hosted a series, Home Invasion,
Oh, nice.
that was like, the online performances on Instagram Live. Thinking back to it
Yeah,
now, like they obviously were fine, they were fun, but it was just such a different time. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like such a different
exactly.
time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. And like it felt good, but it's nothing compared to like a live show and like having people
Oh, for
be with
sure.
you. That energetic exchange is just
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I can't
it can't be matched. And that's the thing is too, I understand how so many artists are like struggling to like kind of get their feet back after the pandemic.
hmm.
Because it was just so weird. Like you can't go and perform, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was a crazy, crazy time. Um, excuse me. I want to talk about the new music you have on the way. What can you tell us about that? Like I want all the exclusives, okay? Any tea you can spill it here. But what can you tell us about the new music you have coming?
The new music that I have coming is, you know what? I think I've always been in a very folk pop lane.
Hmm.
And the past couple of years, honestly, being in Toronto, coming back to Montreal, I do feel more grounded in my artistry and what I'm doing. So the songs that are coming out are definitely more on the folk rock side of things. Um, Definitely taking the inspiration like Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac a lot more seriously in my music, which could be a little guess to what song I'm doing at the Honey Jam anniversary. But yeah, it's fun. It's more again festival driven. I really had the intention of writing these songs and singing them with the crowd and getting crowds involved. So I'm excited to embark on like a new chapter that was really inspired by the audience and the fans and the Eclipse family. So we'll have something coming around in the next couple of months or
Okay.
so, a new
Okay.
song that we've maybe been playing at festivals, which, oh my God. Okay. So this song, I can say stuff, whatever. I've been like teasing it on socials. It's called When I Think About Us. And we played it at Festival sur le Canal in Montreal and then Festivois in Trois-Rivières, which I've never played a show in Trois-Rivières ever. And people were singing the lyrics. And it was what I'm like, what do you mean?
What? How do you know
How do you
this?
know? Yeah. And I'm like, I've been like putting snippets on Instagram and stuff just to like test the waters. But there
Hmm.
were two girls, one in Montreal and one in Trois-Rivières, that was singing the chorus, and I locked eyes. Like I forgot there was a show going on. I was like, what are you doing? How do you know these words? This is
Who do you
amazing.
know?
What do you know? What where did it get leaked? But I was like, oh, it's me. Like
I leaked
Instagram.
it. I'm the problem.
Oh, that was me. Sorry, my bad. But
Oh
no,
my
it's
God.
great. I'm so excited about that song. I'm really excited to get it out there and sing it for real with everyone.
Tell me about making songs with the crowd in mind. Because something I talk about with artists is like, we always say, make the music for yourself, make the music what you want to make. But I think
Hmm.
there is something to making music for an actual crowd and not just like your audience as a whole. So talk about what's different in that process of making music that you're thinking of people singing along with.
Yeah. So I think there's a balance of making music for yourself, and making music for your audience, because I think it has to start with making music for yourself. Your foundation has to be somewhat grounded. And I definitely have fallen into the trap of not writing for myself and just writing for like, oh, well, this is what's going to be popular and this is what's going to work and this is what people want to hear. And it's such an easy trap to fall into, but I'm a strong believer that people don't connect to what isn't genuine. Like audiences are so much smarter than I think some people think. Because if you're writing something that is disingenuine to you as a person, as an artist, the audience feels that and they don't connect to it as much. And, the one song that keeps connecting year after year was the second song that I put out called No Matter, the one that I performed at Honey Jam in 2019. And that's still the song that like resonates with people the most. Like there's that emotional connection of like writing, not what you know, but writing from a place of vulnerability and authenticity that I really try and keep in mind. But at the same time, there's something to be said about listening to your crowd and listening to what they connect to and being like, okay, so when I'm in that state of mind, people feel that connection. So I remember we were playing a live show, and to be completely honest, this was like a few years ago. We were playing a show, and I got bored of my set because I'm like, well, there's nothing really
How
exciting
dare
going on.
you?
I mean, the songs are great, and no one was like, it was boring. But for me, there was no like emotional kind of roller coaster going on in the set, and this was a 45-minute set. And I was like,
Hmm.
well, how am I supposed to keep a crowd, like how am I supposed to keep their attention if I can't even keep my own? Like I'm kind of moving away because a lot of the songs were about heartbreak, a lot were very ballad based,
Hmm.
which is beautiful and I love those concerts. However, I was just getting bored of my own set. So I was like, I need something more exciting. I need stuff that's upbeat, something that I can be excited to sing to and like jump around on stage and sing with people and stuff and not just, cry on stage all the time.
It's
So
it's more fun for you.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like I was saying, the song When I Think About Us is it's definitely more upbeat than the stuff I was doing the first 2 years. And it's so much fun to sing that with a crowd and be like bouncing together. So yeah, that's why I went in the studio with more of like an audience mentality in mind of like what's going to be fun for both of us. And it was bringing up the tempo, writing about different topics because I was so stuck in this like, I'm so heartbroken.
Hmm. I've been there.
Yeah, which is great. We need those songs too, but sometimes like that's not me all the time.
I think we
Um,
got to take that sound and make it like a sound bite on the show. Yeah, I'm so heartbroken. Like that's real. That's real.
yeah, send that to me. We'll make a million reels around that.
Oh my, for sure, for sure. But I know I understand. It's like it's almost like you want to make it fun for yourself, you know?
Yeah,
And that's something honestly I think about when I like see artists perform is I'm like, are you having fun doing this?
exactly.
You know? And
Yeah,
like with artists like Mustafa, I think of this. I saw him a couple weeks ago.
yeah.
Sampha as well. Like artists who their whole set is like very, very morose. I'm
Mhm.
like, it must be an emotional experience every time you get on stage, you
Yeah,
know? So I totally understand because I'm like, if you're doing shows on shows on shows, it's like I'm happy before I get on stage and I'm gonna go on stage and sing about this horrible thing that
yeah,
happened to me and almost cry. So, no, I get
yeah. And
it.
you have to get into that mentality all over again, right? Which is beautiful in a way, but it's very draining in other ways. Yeah.
No,
I just want to
listen.
have fun.
No, I get it because I like my partner makes music and I think about
Nice.
some of my heartbreaks and like my like
Mm.
horrible romantic times and I said if I had to like go on stage and sing about this
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yo, you're living through it all over again. And like 3 minutes or less, and it takes an emotional toll. And that's the thing. Performing is so much more than just performing. You're tapping into this emotion constantly and going through it with like a whole crowd as well. So then you're receiving their energy on the song, and it's
Hmm.
it's intense and it's hard to like harness it, but when you do, it's like, oh, it's so good. Um
Yes, yes.
yeah, I had to create like some rituals before and after a show. Like after a show, I'll always go backstage and write three things that I
Hmm.
loved about it, because at the
Oh, I
end
like
you're just,
that.
yeah, because you're on such an adrenaline high as soon as you get off the stage, and then the next day you can barely, or at least I
Mm.
can barely get out of bed because I'm like, well, who's cheering for me to get out of bed? Like there's no one cares. But then you're like, oh wait, that we did this amazing thing yesterday. There's like all these videos, and anyways, yeah, rituals are very important to me.
I think I'm gonna take that. I'm a journaler. I journal, I
Ooh.
meditate. But I'm gonna take that of journaling after like an event or something, because one of my
Yeah,
friends sent me this thing on IG that said some people don't celebrate themselves. They accomplish something great and then move on to the next thing. And she's like, "This is you."
yeah,
So I think I'm gonna take your little journaling three
yeah,
things that you liked about your performance. So
yeah.
if I say that to anybody else, remember this is where I got it from. Okay, you guys heard it here first. I'm stealing this from you. I think this
Yeah.
is a great lead into our next question. So we have this segment on the radio show called Wednesday Wisdom, looking for a motivational quote or saying either you remind yourself of or the people around you. So what's that quote for you that's kind of just always running through your head?
Um, I'm gonna keep it really simple because I'm so impulsive. It's almost detrimental, to be honest. But I think something that I really hold dear in my heart all the time is just why not? Or like living without. I'd rather live with the idea of failure than the idea of like what if. 100%.
Mm,
I Yeah, you need to do it because I want to have a life full of experiences, not a life full of, well, what if I did this? So I think, oh, why not? Why not is like a really important quote to me because like
I
what's the worst that could happen.
no, well, if you ask me, I'll tell you everything the worst that can happen. But no, I think why not is real. I've been leaning into my why not in 2025. Like everything is more leaning
Yeah.
into the why not. I've almost been too responsible for so long that I'm like, okay, Adriel, just do something crazy. Like, just do it. Why not? And as well, like one of my aunts, I think she's 102 now, but I remember she
Oh
said
my
to me,
God.
yeah, legend. She said to me
Yes,
years
seriously.
ago, she was like, "You're not gonna be at the end of your life and be happy that you didn't do things. You're
Yes. Oh my
you're gonna
God.
you're gonna be wishing you did this or wishing you did this."
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that really hit because think about there's gonna be a time when you physically can't do certain things,
Yeah.
or you can't go back. Like I was telling my girl, I had with my whole life I never had long hair. Like I had like the short cut forever, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to an age where I can't get braids. Like I can't get braids at that age. I had to already have them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
I gotta grow my hair. Like I gotta get the braids.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
get it. I get it.
Yeah, and it's like it's not a matter of not thinking about the consequences, but it's actually like the opposite because if you're like, okay, well, what's the worst that can happen? And you think of that and you write all like the negative impacts that it can have, you kind of realize it's not that bad. Like, oh, that could happen, but like, okay, now I'm prepared for that. So if it does happen, I've already thought about it. And then it's like, well, what's the best case scenario? And you're like, oh,
What it
damn.
Oh, something I've been journaling is what if it goes better than you expected? It's
What if
almost
it
like
goes?
you don't know that's an option. It's like there's actually an option where it goes even better than you expected.
Yeah,
So I've been saying that a lot of like, listen, it's actually gonna go better than you think.
yeah.
So that's another option as well.
100%. And like, not to get too like woo woo witchy about things, but I think in like, there's choices that we make, and there's probably a dimension where you made all the choices where you said yes to things and you're living your best life. but there's also maybe a version where you said yes to things and you're living your worst version. Like it's just a matter of taking chances and taking opportunities as they come and just I don't know, following your intuition and stuff, you know?
Yes, yes. Let's get woo woo witchy, okay? We love we love a witch on the cool table, okay? We're here for it. No, I think that's a great place for us to kind of get into our last question because I think of this all the time of like you're right. There's the dimension of you said yes and it went amazing, or you said yes and it went horrible. But I think
Mm,
of this where it's like you want to just be kind of proud of what you've done for yourself. You know,
yes.
it's
Yeah.
like listen, I did what I was supposed to do. I did
Yeah.
what I could. I did what felt good to me. However it worked, I can live with that. So for anyone
Yeah.
listening, this is your sign, your reminder to go do that crazy thing. Okay,
Go do it.
send that text.
Actually, though, oh my God, I was talking about that with a friend of like, oh, are you ruining a connection by being too honest with how things are? And like,
Mhm.
how can you ruin something by being
No,
honest or being too real? Like, I don't know, man. I think what's meant for you stays. And if you aren't genuine or act fake towards any situation, you're going to get a fake result that you're going to be unhappy with anyway. So,
no, facts, facts. Oh my goodness, we're dropping gems here on the show today.
where then the witchy intuition.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Shout out to all my witches out there. It's so funny. Me and my boy have this thing where we say at a time, you know, and they're talking about like the old versions of us, you know,
Yeah.
and and like sometimes we'll be like we're out and we'll like see someone and he'll be like at a time you would have been super into her, you know, and
At a time, that's funny.
yeah, so the witchy one is one of those like at a time. It's like you would have heard a witch and been like, okay. It's like
Yeah.
at a time. So it's like at a time. Um, let's talk about Honey Jam a little bit before we get out of here. Okay. Again,
Yeah.
30th anniversary. Think about all the things that have never made it to 30 years. Okay. So
That's crazy.
absolutely huge. Is there someone who you'd want to see as a special guest? Just for you. Okay. They can be performing with you in the crowd. They don't have to be Canadian, but someone who you'd love to see in the building for Honey Jam.
Man, I think if Carol King was at Honey Jam, that would be insane.
That would be
Like,
legendary.
and she would be so into it too. She'd be like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." Like, especially a woman who made her career songwriting and being like incredible, surrounded by, I mean, she was definitely surrounded by more male songwriters and creators, but
Hmm.
it had some women around. But can you imagine how she'd lose her mind at Honey Jam and
That's
how
what I'm
we'd lose her mind,
saying.
our mind over her and be like, "Oh my God."
Spiritual experience.
Truly, truly. Oh my God, that would, and to be honest, I could totally see that happening. I can totally see Carol King being a special guest to Honey Gem.
We're speaking it into existence, man. We're speaking it into existence. Honey Jam 31. Because I think that's a good answer. I think also of all of the answers I've got, she would be the most into it. And I think
She would be,
that's what makes it exciting is like her being into it, her being like, oh my God, this is crazy.
yeah,
Oh.
exactly. And like, but also for us, obviously, but always thinking about the audience. And I'm like, who would vibe with Honey Jam? I mean, Carol
Yeah,
King.
yeah, you know those videos of Taylor Swift in the crowd just going crazy. Like that's what I'm picturing is her just in the crowd just losing it.
Yeah, yeah. And then she'd be like, oh my God, you guys are all so amazing. We should all write together. And we'll be like, oh my God, Carol King, that's a great idea. I'm so glad you said that.
No way.
No, I never thought of that.
Oh my, if you insist, if we really have to do this.
Come on, everyone. We're going to go to Carol
Oh
King's.
my goodness. I love that. Listen, I want to thank you for joining us on the show today. Honestly, it has been a pleasure. I'm happy that you gave us the time. Um, I'm excited to see what's coming. I think everyone else is excited to see as well. So please stay
Yeah.
tuned. Okay, you have new music on the way. You heard it here first on the Cool Table. And of course, show up to Honey Jam. Okay, 30th anniversary, Wednesday,
Yeah.
July 30th, Massey Hall, $30.
It's huge. Massey Hall, man. Like, come on.
That's what I'm saying. Big venue, reasonable ticket. So excited to see you guys there. Of course, I'm gonna be there. You know, at my heart, I am a girl's girl, so I have no choice but to be there. I'm very excited. But until next time, know yourself, know your worth.